Rukert Terminal's anniversary celebration, Samantha Rukert has become the family historian and has compiled the stories published in the 100th Anniversary History Book. Her grandfather, Norman Rukert Sr., was the original historian in the 1970s.
Apparently, after my great-grandfather died in 1974, he became interested in collecting stories of the Baltimore waterfront and the port, and as he started to collect them, it really just took on a life of its own. And he began to, I think he started with Fells Point, collecting the history of Fells Point, and then it just went from there.
In an interview with Maryland Public Television, Norman explained how he got started researching and writing history.
That you wanted to document the history of Fells Point. That was your first book. Where do you begin? I mean, you just don't walk around the street and say, does anyone know any stories about the place?
No, actually, my dad, having spent his entire career in Fells Point, used to tell me a lot of stories that he had heard over a period of years. And as he got older, I asked him one day to sit down and put them on paper, and he refused to do it. So after he died, I kept thinking about it. I said, somebody should recapture all these stories or they're going to be lost. So I started to sit down and type them. I'm a pretty good typist, and I typed them myself and put them away. Now, someone heard about it, and they came down and wanted to see them, and they read them, and they kept pushing me about publishing it.
Starting with Cap's stories about Fells Point, Norman would eventually publish 5 books and the 60th anniversary Rukert history that much of these videos are based on.
I have like a new respect and kind of admiration for that in addition to being, being a businessman and kind of carrying on the business and the work in the port, he contributed in a major way, not only with the books, but also by opening the museum at Brown's Wharf in 1976.
You know, right there on Brown's Wharf, which is yours too, isn't it? You installed a complete maritime museum. What made the businessman who's got his mind on loading dirty and unloading dirty material decide to set up a maritime museum?
Well, doing the research of my first book, Fells Point, I found out that we owned the oldest warehouse in Baltimore City. It was built in 1822, and we weren't not using it because it was a 4-story warehouse, and under today's labor market, you can't go off of the first floor. So it laid empty, and it was in a beautiful condition, just like the day it was built. And so I had got the idea that I should turn it into a maritime museum, and it's been very, very popular. In fact, Wednesday, we had over 175 school children go through there.
Many of the displays, artifacts, and archives that were in the Brown's Wharf Museum are now located here in the Rukerts Cap Center, where we record these history videos. Samantha has diligently worked on the updated version of her grandfather's 60th year corporate history that covers all 100 years.
And then I've become kind of the, I guess, unofficial historian of the company as well.